Oh yes, it's that time of year again, chaps. Doctor Who is back on telly, and it's brought yet another villain from the classic series along with it, because we got the grand return of the Rani after— Wait, the Rani actually came back? Oh, thank God! Now can everyone stop fucking speculating that every single mysterious woman who appears in the modern era is secretly the Rani? It's never going to happen again, so I better not see any more dumbass Rani theories online for the rest of my fucking life. Sorry. Let's get straight into this with an overview of the Rani's backstory, significant appearances in expanded media, and an explanation of just who the hell she is, to get any new viewers up to speed and provide old fans with a recap. As usual, there's going to be spoilers ahead for all of these stories that you can see on screen right now. The Rani made her debut 40 years ago at the time of recording in The Mark of the Rani, where she was portrayed to perfection by the late Kate O'Mara, a beloved actress known for her roles in American soap opera Dynasty and the BBC drama series The Brothers. She is introduced as an incredibly gifted Time Lord scientist who has been exiled from Gallifrey for centuries after one of her experiments caused some mice to become giant monsters that ate the Lord President's cat. Luckily for her, she was able to hijack a TARDIS and escape across the universe, eventually landing on the planet Maya Simia Goria, becoming its ruler, and experimenting on the population to heighten their awareness. This inevitably backfired, as doing so completely deprived them of sleep, making them incredibly violent and descending the world into chaos as a result. The Rani is a tad miffed about this, so she travels to Earth in order to steal a chemical from the human brain that allows us to sleep, believing it to be the key to curing the Maya Simia Gorians. However, while carrying out this experiment on the people of Killingworth during the Industrial Revolution, she finds herself pitted against the Sixth Doctor, and reluctantly teams up with the Master after he promises to assist her with the extraction of the chemical, if she helps him to alter Earth's history in return. The Doctor's like, yeah, no, get fucked, and sabotages the Rani's TARDIS, trapping her and the Master inside with an adorable little T-Rex. There were plans to follow up on this ending in the unproduced story Yellow Fever and How to Cure It, which would have seen the Rani and the Master disguised as members of a travelling street theatre in Singapore, secretly working with the Autons and the Nestine Consciousness as part of a new evil scheme, only to be foiled by the Sixth Doctor, Perry, and the Brigadier. But then Michael Grade came along, put the show on hiatus for over a year, the whole season got reworked, and this story got chucked out. Instead, the Rani's next appearance would come 2 years later, in the Seventh Doctor's first adventure, Time and the Rani. In it, she seizes control of the planet Lakertia with help from a race of bat-like aliens called Tetraps, and enacts a plot to kidnap the greatest scientific minds in all of time and space, including the Doctor. She attacks the TARDIS, Doctor Who bangs his head on the console, which kills him and forces him to regenerate. Well, actually, Hysterian, in the last adventure by Big Finish, they say that the regeneration was actually caused by— Oh my god, shut up, you fucking nerd, nobody gives a shit. The Sixth Doctor dying from a little bump is objectively hilarious, and we as a fandom all need to collectively agree that it's canon just to fuck with annoying little geeks like you. Anyway, the Rani disguises herself as the Doctor's latest companion Mel to gain his trust, and uses his and the kidnapped scientist's combined intellects to figure out a way of destroying a substance known as strange matter. Upon learning how, her true plan is revealed. She wants to transform Lakertia into a time manipulator, which will allow her to control the evolution of every species in history, and erase any that she views as having gone wrong, but it will come at the cost of all life on Lakertia being wiped out, including the Tetraps. The Doctor, Mel, and the Lakertians manage to stop the Rani, who attempts to escape in her TARDIS, only to be ambushed by the Tetraps, having learnt of her betrayal. They take her prisoner and travel back to their homeworld, thus marking this as the Rani's final television appearance until 2023 in the Church on Ruby Road. Oh no, kill me now. Dimensions in Time is total and utter crap, so I'm gonna make this quick for all our sakes. The Rani wants a collection of monsters and aliens or something. She traps a bunch of doctors and companions inside the EastEnders universe. Time gets all fucked up, they beat the bad guys, the Rani loses, and dies, probably. There's a prequel from the 1995 yearbook called Rescue that explains she met this bloke here by saving him from the Cybermen. That's nice. Let's move on. State of Change, the fifth novel in the Doctor Who Missing Adventures range, follows up on the ending of The Mark of the Rani, revealing that the Master detached the console room of the Rani's TARDIS to escape, leaving her to be eaten alive by that T-Rex. And then it gets too big and breaks its neck on the ceiling. Rest in peace, Terry. You were a real one. After floating through space for a bit, the Rani discovers a creature made of pure energy that can replicate anything. She asks it to make her a new console room so that she can get back to experimenting all over the universe, but the creature creates a copy of the Doctor's and accidentally sends it back through time. This ends up creating a parallel Earth called Terra Nova, where the Roman Empire has access to guns, zeppelins, electricity, radios, and the atomic bomb. The Rani arrives, and tries to gain power over the planet by manipulating the children of Cleopatra, until the Doctor rocks up, befriends the energy creature which he gives the name I Am, and foils her efforts once again as she runs away in her TARDIS complete with its new console room. 7 years after this book's release, and with the beginning of the new millennium, BBV Productions launched the incredibly short-lived audio drama series The Rani, which consisted of just one story, The Rani Reaps the Whirlwind. This is a direct sequel to Time and the Rani, with the Tetraps putting her on trial for attempting to wipe them out. Their leader Urak strikes a deal with the Rani. If she eliminates the food shortage on the planet and gets them all the blood they could ever need to feast on, her life will be spared. Naturally, she agrees, but soon hatches a plan to escape with the assistance of her experiment's subjects. They are successful, although the Rani is left without a TARDIS, vowing to return to the Tetraps planet to retrieve it and get her revenge. We can only assume that she did, because any future installments in this spin-off were cancelled due to low sales and poor reviews. This would also be the last time that Kate O'Mara played the character, as she sadly passed away in 2014. O'Mara had been set to reprise her role in an audio drama for Big Finish that year, and gave them her blessing to continue production with a new incarnation of the Rani, who would be introduced in the Rani Elite, played by the acclaimed actress Siobhan Redmond. Taking place some time after her regeneration, the Rani poses as a professor at the College of Advanced Galactic Education, experimenting on the most intelligent students' minds as part of her endeavour to reverse engineer chaos theory. She anticipates the 7th Doctor's arrival and interference, but is surprised to see his 6th incarnation instead, worrying that meeting her enemy's past self will violate the laws of time. However, her experiments take priority over this concern, and when one of the students falls unconscious, she replaces them with Perry, who is able to deduce her true identity. Soon enough, the Doctor also finds out that the Rani is behind everything, and tries to convince her to abandon her life of villainy, reminiscing about their childhoods on Gallifrey. She rejects his appeal, of course, and before she knows it, her experiments are brought to an end as she gets sent off to prison. This leads into this incarnation's second and currently final appearance, Planet of the Rani. Having been imprisoned in Tekarora Penitentiary for 50 years, the Rani successfully applies for parole, and over the course of the next 4.5 decades is able to manipulate the staff into making her the prison's governor. She uses her newfound position of power to carry out an experiment that will open a portal to Maya Simia Goria, the planet that she had left behind all the way back in the Mark of the Rani, and kidnaps the 6th Doctor's new companion Constance Clark in the process. The two of them discover that Raj Karnu, a prince who viewed the Rani as his mother after she began testing on him, has become the planet's new ruler and now resembles a giant metal cockroach. The Doctor manages to catch up with them all, as a battle breaks out at Karnu's palace between his fellow cyborg roaches and the Rani's original sleep-deprived test subjects. Ultimately though, she is defeated yet again when the Doctor and Karnu release an antidote that cures the Myasimia Gorians of their inability to sleep, freeing them from the Rani's control. She's put on trial for her crimes, but, you guessed it, she escapes before sentencing can be passed, and as far as we know, is never heard from by the Doctor again. That is, until now, with the Rani's latest appearances in the Interstellar Song Contest and the upcoming finale of Series 15, Wishworld and the Reality War. And I guarantee you that every single one of the stories that I've discussed today will be completely ignored, except for her previous TV appearances. Okay, maybe not that TV appearance. Either way, none of the books, audio dramas, or her Siobhan Redmond incarnation are going to be referenced, which renders this whole video completely pointless. For the 4th time in a row, you could say that I've wasted your time, and to that I say, fuck you.